Alright, welcome back everyone. Here we are after a solid 2 weeks worth of building. Starting to make some progress. We're getting towards the home stretch, I think. I got, of course, the main left wing, west wing, I'm not sure what to call this. Pretty well completed. And like I sort of said yesterday, the clock is going to run out somewhere, I'm assuming, like this. Be that kind of detail on it, and this is actually going to be facing this way, so we're going to have more steps coming down from here to connect these. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be spaced out or fit, but it's really going to be an interesting little house when it's all said and done. I'm really digging it so far. Fun little build. Like these builds are always a little bit on the challenging side, but it's super rewarding to get that little more, not realistic, but a little less fake, I guess, look to it. Actually having like the 3D pieces, which we're going to be mostly working on tonight. Our steps are still a little crooked, but I think whenever I glue down, when everything gets glued down in place, it's going to pull it in a little bit. It's still got a little, it's not as exaggerated as it was last night, so I think once we locked it in the corner back here, that really helped get things sort of straightened out a little bit. Let's say, hopefully I can avoid goofing up like I did last night, putting these steps on the wrong side. But all that being said, if you're new here, this is what I do. I buy these kits and build them step by step, mostly in real time. You can see all my successes and all my failures, and hopefully fix those inevitable failures as they come up. Upload daily and just try and have a good time. We're not solving the world's problems, just building silly little models, whoops, and trying to have some fun. You see any kits or builds or sets you want me to take a shot at, feel free to drop in the comments. I'm always looking to add on to my list, and I've got the most intelligent audience in YouTube because y'all provide me with nothing but the best of options. I guess I should turn on all my lights tonight. That being said, we're ready to go in and build some tiny pieces, and hopefully my plan is to get these mounted up tonight, and then we'll be ready to jump in to do some wiring right off the bat tomorrow to get, I think, the last of our lights installed. So let me pull all these paper pieces out, because we gotta make some more magic potion bottles. That stack out of the way here. And I don't think I've ever seen one of these doodads where I've seen similar ones, but not painted gold or copper or brass or whatever that's supposed to be. Like I said, got us not as many bottles to make tonight as we did the last time we made bottles, so hopefully this one won't be too bad. Focus on what I want you to focus on. But my standard procedure for that, I'm going to grab me a little piece of acrylic and anchor these guys down first with the hot glue gun. So find the ones that are actually going to be on the bottom first. So you, and this guy, this piece, and this one. Yeah, that goes on something else. Yeah, these two go on something else, and that's the sort of the cap, the sub cap for that bottle. Okay, so whoop, house on fire tonight. I'm gonna break everything. Okay, so let me just see if I can get a tiny dab down there. Anchor these in with the hot glue. I can't even pick that one up. Some space, a little dab there. That worked unintentionally well. I'm gonna get my little seepage on there, so it's actually working to my advantage here. Let's pick this one up. So getting little strings around. These pieces are always the most difficult. These tall, skinny ones. Of course, that's the time it didn't. Okay. Yeah, I'm all standing there. I think I should. Let me get okay. Get my glue gun to turn off. Okay, so those guys are strings off of there. It's sort of anchored in place, and I'm going to go to B7000. I should. I've got a. I'm going to be using their stuff. I should at least put their logo on here. I've got some around here somewhere. I just transferred this stuff into a bottle. But let's see here. So this guy gets this and this on top of it. So let's see how that goes. Diamond shaped dealio. My new glue delivery system works any better for this stuff. Get around there. I just saw my watch, so let's get old Woody back on now. I'm feeling Toy Story today. I guess. Okay, pig came in. Okay, didn't even know he was on there. Okay, that's standing straight up. Like I said, then this guy goes on the top of that one. So yeah, I'm starting to think that me breaking my nozzle on that glue bottle, that tube of glue the other night, was one of those happy accidents. It's just going to be very fortuitous in the end. Get you lined up with one bead. All right. Then let's see, the light green one and the blue one. Just get these guys. This one gets another one of those guys too, but I'll let that glue set up a minute before I try that. Try not to knock it off with my... Just a little dab around there. And over here. And also on top of our, I guess, probably good, top of our tall boy here. Pick up a spare. Okay. Those appear to be sticking okay. Now I'm not really sure what I'm making with this one. We're supposed to take these guys, just trim off, looks like, leave there's a little stem on it. Down into the central, and then one sort of hanging over the side it. So I'm not recognizing what that's supposed to be, but that's how they made it. So I'm good with that, and I'm gonna go ahead and be a little greedy and see if I can't get that last bit on here. Drop you into place. Okay, so that, all those guys are in theory complete. Just gotta let that glue dry up a bit. So set my card over to the side. Grab another one. And I'm gonna make a book. So I gotta find my, here we are. Sticker sheet. 325 is what we're up to, so that's that now. painted 3 sides here, so I'll sort of choose that. This batch has been pretty good about being symmetrical on the book binding, so I'm glad for that. And then this guy and this guy go onto the on top of the book there. Just do me bone there, and down into it, and a level spot on the board. All right. And up on the top, into that. Alright, so that pretty much completes that little guy. Put you aside. And to move on to our paper pieces. Oh, so fun. I think I'm going to use a super glue for these. Yeah, they're the things that need it on these. Set you aside and get them divvied up. Okay, yeah, there's correspondence and posters. Okay. We've actually got looking later on, we got these guys get glued to the outside, but these are sort of boring. So I think I'm going to replace. We're supposed to make these into scrolls, so I'm going to replace them with some of the more fun. That looks interesting, a little more interesting. That's like these look sort of plain. So I'm going to make those into scrolls, and these are going to be our posters. I think those are the ones I'm interested in. Let's take a look at all of them before I lock it in. Yeah. There's my last letter. Okay. Okay, so y'all guys turn into scrolls. Let's scoot you over there. You just gotta fold these guys. So that's scoring and fold in and glue in on these. That's flat. Those I wanted to go with. That's going to be here. Okay. Back to the old Gorilla Super Glue. Should be crooked. Not a surprise. Okay, that one also improving. Pretty close on that one. Ooh. How are we doing this one? At least it's straight, but no, pretty close again. Okay. 50-50. Okay, so don't hardly need any glue on, just holding a fold together, so I'm just gonna clean the brush off as much as I can, get as little on there as possible, and just hopefully a few in there, and hold you for a few seconds. And not glue myself to it. I think I got a little too much on that one. Definitely got my hand into it over here. It's doing so good. Put it away until I need it again. Okay, so I'll get my scissors out. And do some trimming here and there. Let's make them sort of look like I did a good job. Okay. These two aren't that bad. Okay. I'll just put them over there with my magic bottles. Now, 3 more books to make. One thick one, so I gotta join them together. Back to the super glue. Okay. And stickers. So 6/27/28. So they're doing a good job of getting them in order as we use them. If you follow the instructions. Let's see, and the 28's the double thick ones. Okay. Now, so we're over to make sure I get my the ones I've decided to promote posters out of the way. Make sure I don't roll them up. It's time to start making some scrolls. Let's start with Started the wrong way. Get them a little curly to start with. And I'll finish the curl later. It's just to make them easier to pick up more than anything. I'm on the wrong side. And I'll just do a couple of these at regular speed, then you can, so you can, I think I got my technique pretty well down pat on these. Famous last words, of course. And then I'll buzz through the rest of them at high speed. But basically, they give me a swab, something smaller diameter than the awl. Just get the curl started around there and just spin the whole thing. And honestly, once you do that, it'll pretty well stays in place. I still like to, it spreads out a little bit. You can see it stays not too far. Doesn't go. Focus on one watch. Like that. It grows about that much, so that's why I sort of like to glue them into place to make sure they stay small. It seems to matter on these. So just put in there and like holding it together, sort of roll back and get flap exposed, and ideally have your super glue ready before. Especially if you're using a brush like I am here. Just touch it. And rolls around. It'll stay nice and tight. And do one more. And like I say, then I'll do the other 11. I won't make you watch those in real time. Flap. Oh. That's way too much glue on that knob, that brush. Sometimes you leave them too tight, so they still want to stay on the stick, but they do come off pretty easy. Okay, like I say, I think that demonstrates the procedure, so I'll do the rest of these much faster. Okay, there we go. My thumb started cramping up towards the end there, putting a little too much stress on it. had a couple of them where they didn't stick as well. They didn't not quite as tight right off the bat. I don't know. That might be another one that didn't. Looks like it might didn't. Yeah, that one didn't stick at all. Okay. Go back and retry that. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. Okay. So one more regular speed. Make sure there's plenty in there this one. This time. That's better. Okay, so we got our scrolls done. I think they're all stuck now. They all seem to be. Scrolls, books are done. Postcards done. Let's see how these guys are doing on our magic bottles. That one seems to be staying upright, so I think probably dry enough to maneuver that one at least. So let's not break that. Let's bring our staircase back in and start placing these guys. Actually, hang on. I forgot something here. I don't have any shelves on the back of my staircase. Yep, I was supposed to install these guys last night. Let me do that right quick. If I can get in. Posters out of the way. Okay. These go. These go. Okay, so they're going. Okay, here and here. It says. Okay. What I'm gonna do, since I goofed this up so bad, and yeah, we're using that grill as a gluing point on the end down there. Whoop. Line it up with that. That gets us lined up with our holes here. I'm going to lay a bead, my B7000, along that line, and then I'll put the hot glue on the end and sort of sink it in, and hopefully that'll anchor everything in place. I'll throw the clamp on for a few minutes and then take a break, come back, and we'll actually put all these little pieces in. That'll give those bottles a little more time to dry too. Okay, so that's my plan of action at this point. Right, I'm going to do one at a time because underneath our windows, portals, whatever you want to call it. A little bit of hot glue on the end here. So you just smash you in. Just anchor it on that end. And then after I put the other one in, I'll put a clamp in right here to hold that down. Get it to stay lined up, I hope. And then repeat on the second one. Whoops. Okay, so we got those guys. Place. Turn off my glue gun. Get my clamps out. Let's see, we're just gonna put my little baby clamps here. I think I can finagle them into place around our doorway here. Yep. And that. Top one needs to go down a smidge. Okay, that side I can't change. It's a little bit proud, but this one looks alright. Get our strings out of there. Okay, now I'm going to let that set up for, like I say, a few minutes, and I'll come back and we'll install everything and we'll call that a night. So I'll be right back with that. Okay, should be good to go now. It's been a little bit longer than I intended, but still not too bad. Yeah, I feel pretty solid on there. Got our shelves going, and still some more strings in here. Back here. Okay, let's see. So now, let's see, we got our doodads here. Like I say, they all seem to be pretty stable. Like I say, I'm still not sure what that's supposed to represent, but it's on there. Strings off of these two. The downside of a hot glue gun, but still not too bad. Shouldn't be much on there. Okay, get back over where I'm supposed to be, and let's try. Let's see, can I get this to work with the old phone stand? I don't think so with this situation. Not. Okay, yeah, lift it up a little bit. Okay, maybe get just somewhat of a view here. Leave it fairly flat, or those run out the back. But so. See here. Okay. A little vague on some of the instructions, but I think I've got that. I think I see what we're doing. Okay, so here gets. We're getting here. Keep losing my space. Okay. This actually worked out pretty good. It's the blue bottle and the green bottle. I'll get them off without. Yeah. Okay. I can't pick them up, but I can get them off the mount. Okay. Alright, let's do a little bit of in here. It's a really thin coat, so that's hopefully sticky. Let's see if I can. Yep. And nope. Get you on the back side, maybe. And stand it up. You can't see any of that. Okay, sort of leaning, but I think that'll work. Let's see if the green. Let's try the other set of tweezers. They don't have as much contamination on them, glue and whatnot. Okay. Back, front of it. Yep, that didn't work any better. these things to stand up is seems to be my weakest point here. Let me go back and push them to this side. There we go. I think they're both, looks like they're both in the glue down there, so that should stay like that. Okay. And the next one, a couple of our postcards. These guys. It appears maybe I wasn't supposed to glue them, because it seems like they're supposed to be standing up, but I'll just have them lean up against the side. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to stagger them a little bit, like that. It's probably not going to focus on it. We actually maybe do one standing up and one, yeah, so, no. Maybe have one on each side. I think that might be where I go with it. Have one leaned against each edge. Okay, so let's get tweezers here. Just give it a little. And run my tweezers right into the glue. Against that wall. I'm trying to do a better job with this one. Sticking out like that. Maybe I can get. Yeah, there's a little more of a lean to it now. There we go. Then over here we get 3 of our books. Get 2 skinny. And the thick, yeah, these 3. So, thick boy is supposed to be standing up. And about there it says. And these 2 are on top of each other next to it and flat. So a little blob in here. Sort of. The weight distribution's a little bit off on this thing. Can't get this in by hand, maybe. Knocking everything else out of the way. On top of you. This one going. Not the binding showing here, just what? Something like so. Now, this one looks really busy. Get both letters in there. One laying down, one standing up against the wall. So then first, right here. I think we're going to end up covering most of it. I'll put it there with the picture side up. This is, like I said, this is the front of our building, so I'm going to have these sort of trying to be sticking out to give a little more depth to it. No, this is the side. Never mind. Because over here is the front. Still, that was sticking out to give a little depth anyway. This one, I'm going to lean up against that wall there, so get the bottom here. Yeah, like that. Alright. And then our last 3 bottles go in here. Looks like, well, actually this one, the tall one, I always have trouble standing up. It's supposed to be laying down, so yay. Let's see if I can get these guys to... Off the bottom there, yeah. This one's tall enough for me to grab. Like I say, this thing I'm still confused by what it's supposed to be, but there's the side view of it. Maybe they were supposed to both supposed to go down into the... No, it's laying next to it. I don't know. Okay, so one of them I have on the edge of our card there. Air bubble in there. There it goes. That's where the big fancy guy goes. And I thought that might happen a little too top heavy to have it at an angle, so. Keep positioned. Okay. And this guy's going to be next to it with our gold cattails or whatever those are. And of course I'm sticking to it now. Looking around my other one, but it stayed upright, so. And like I said, this guy always gives me trouble standing up anyway. Gets to be laying horizontally. So, over here on this side. Underneath that shelf that you can't see. Okay, I'm just gonna lay you in there sideways and have the bottle sort of sticking, cap sort of sticking out the side there. Okay. Now, we're down to just our scrolls and this guy. There you go. They both go in this very bottom section down here on the actual floor. So maybe it'd be easier to... This side gets like this, and 2 scrolls it says, and all the rest of the scrolls get piled up in our last little doodad. So, should just be a matter of gently placing these things in, and they're going to cooperate, and everything's going to go perfectly right. I still am an optimist. Okay, got a binding showing, so like, yeah, it's going to go in like that. twist on it. Okay. There's a couple of scrolls here on the floor next to it. A little blob of glue. I'm still going to try and have them sort of hanging over the edge a little bit. I'm trying to create a little jagged like illusion. Yeah, so I can sort of see down there. That's our. I'm not saying these guys are supposed to get stacked up. I guess like firewood. This last little cubby hole. Run me a good bead across, back and forth. Let's do sticking them down. Doing my best to not make them even. Okay, need more glue now. This bead form across the top there, maybe. I think I'm going to have enough at least one more layer like that. Okay, there's 2 more to go. I think I got a couple of good nooks formed here. Let's see. Oop, picked one up. Didn't want to do that. That means I got too close. Okay. Try number 2. And grip it in this time. A little too much, I think. Still. There. And one sideways, maybe. Okay. Alright, let's see if I can get that. But I lose my last scroll there. I haven't had time to. Okay. There you see most of the decorations there. Nice little alcove with our goodies in it. Good day's work. I think that's going to be a good place to stop. We'll jump right in tomorrow with starting up on our lights, I think. That last little bit of lighting. Officially, I haven't hooked up the lights, but y'all know I have. And get maybe a chandelier and our other bit of steps in. Yeah, I'm gonna guess, based on what I'm seeing here, probably 3 more days on this build, and we'll be ready to hop out and onto something else. But in the meantime, I'm gonna back out a little bit so you can see a little bit more of it, maybe. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe, comment, complain, share, do whatever you want to with all of that. Be good to one another, stay safe, and click on a link. There's my channel over there if you'd like to subscribe. There's my other channel where I do experiments a couple of times a month. That is what YouTube thinks you should be watching, and that is a playlist for this whole build. I'll see you tomorrow.